What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? We are here. Super Bowl bound. Kansas City Chiefs. Victory Monday, episode 113. We're here to recap the game from last night. We got my guy Clarence with me today. I got DJ Ant. I got Ty. We're going to break this thing down. Let's talk Chiefs.
Is it there? End zone. Caught. Throw up top. And he is intercepted by Watson. Able to seal him. Here's the pass. Oh, what a catch. Leap from the pocket. On the run to the end zone. It's caught. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Look at this. Hubbard falls on it. Left side. They go up the middle with P. Ryan, the big body, plowing ahead for the touchdown. Pocket sealed for a while. Down the field to Higgins. Oh, and it's tapped away and intercepted. Comes Chris Jones after. Is it? Is it there? End zone. Caught. Throw up top. And he is intercepted.
We are.
Is it there? End zone. Caught. Throw up top. And he is intercepted by Watson. Able to seal him. Here's the pass. Oh, what a catch. Leap from the pocket. On the run to the end zone. It's caught. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Look at this. Hubbard falls on it. Left side. They go up the middle with P. Ryan, the big body, plowing ahead for the touchdown. Pocket sealed for a while. Down the field to Higgins. Oh, and it's tapped away and intercepted. Comes Chris Jones after him. Chris Jones got him. For 45 yards. All the way. It's good.
Against a great football team, and we showed this place that's Arrowhead. It's not Arrowhead out here. Just want to thank God, man.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? We back. Here to break down this game from last night. Super Bowl bound. Kansas City Chiefs beat the Bengals. But before we get into that, Clarence, what's happening?
We are live from the sold-out stadium in Phoenix, Arizona. It's time. Let's go. What's happening? What's happening?
What's up, man? Feeling good. Feeling good. Ty, what's happening, man? How you feeling?
What's happening, man? I'm feeling great. Feeling great. Having my Victory Day Sprite right here. You see it. Chilling. Ready to talk about this game, this victory. And they finally shut them damn Bengals up. Go home.
DJ Ant, what's cracking, man? How you feeling? How you feeling? Exactly. So let's get into it, fellas, man. Let's not even waste no time. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20. The narrative of this game was, Cincinnati was going to come in here and just stomp us out, beat us. National media had, most of them was picking, Cincinnati to beat it. Everybody, not even just national media, everybody was picking the Cincinnati Bengals to come in and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They was ready to crown Joe Burrow the best quarterback in the NFL. Everybody was riding with Cincinnati, And what they didn't account for was our defensive line is better than the defensive line they faced the week before.
Yep.
And when you talk all that smack and you leave those receipts out there, and the most dangerous thing is the person who's quiet, who don't respond back. Because you don't know what they got going on over there. You ever seen that at the club or you at a bar, you somewhere, and dude, he yelling, he doing all that yapping, the dude over there just sitting minding the business, he drinking, he get up and just knock dude out. That's what that was last night. It was, Chris Jones was phenomenal. No more.
Aaron Donald.
There's no more. I don't want to hear nothing from Chiefs Kingdom. None of this. Oh, dude, he ain't got no sex and he don't make no. No, he made an impact. He put his flag, planted it in the ground. I'm the best D tackle in the league now.
But he always make an impact. He always make an impact.
He always does.
You know what I'm saying? Even Super Bowl run when they won, he made an impact in that game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
They get on some statistical bullshit.
Clarence, sacks to me are like interceptions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dude could be getting cooked for all game, but if he get two picks, it looks good on the stat.
And let's just keep it all the way funky. So when you comparing Chris Jones to Aaron Donald's a lot shorter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that shit plays a huge factor in how Chris beats a double team as opposed to Aaron Donald, who's lower to the ground, strong as shit. You know what I'm saying? And can get around a slow, big ass guard or a center. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just got to give Chris Jones his credit for what he is and what he does, dog.
No,
they really do.
No, hey, I'm pretty sure all four of us believe that Chris Jones always makes an impact.
Oh yeah, he does.
And we got to understand that this dude gets double, sometimes triple team,
and he's freeing up stuff for Frank.
And he's freeing up stuff, and see, just like the Super Bowl run, he was freeing up stuff for Frank. He's freeing up stuff for Dunlap. He's freeing up stuff for Mike Dana. We got to talk about Mike Dana.
Showed out.
Mike Dana is the unsung hero in this defensive line, dog. He makes a lot of stuff move when he gets up. When he gets pressure, a lot of dudes is coming around him. You know what I'm saying? He got some pressure last night in Joe Burrow's face that made him, make some bad mistakes. So we got to give props to Mike Dana. But the defensive line as a whole, and that's what was my point, was I don't care how many weapons you got. I don't care if you got an all-star cast. If you ain't upright, you can't get them the ball.
Yep.
You cannot get them the ball. And on offense, look, I feel like we left points on the board. We probably should have been up way more at halftime. If Kadarius Toney don't drop pass, and if Wiley's old silly ass don't hold, we might be talking about 21-6 at half. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, man, hey, they came up, they showed out, and they showed why the AFC runs through Kansas City and not Cincinnati. It was a good story. Y'all had y'all run. You know what I'm saying? You got yours in. You got y'all a couple licks in. Y'all did. You know what I'm saying? Caught us slipping. But, hey, we had to show y'all, nah, not this year.
We had to show them who the big dogs was.
Not this year.
Who the real big dogs was.
And we did it without all of our best weapons.
Yep.
We had a Travis Kelce who was dealing with a back injury. We got Patrick Mahomes who's practically on one damn leg. And you could tell that because there was a lot of times when the pocket was open, he could have ran.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He could have ran for a lot of first downs, but he couldn't. You know what I'm saying? He just had to step up in the pocket and throw it. And he was actually pretty phenomenal throwing it from the pocket last night. He made some throws last night that was like that MVS touchdown straight down the middle. Not a lot of quarterbacks can make that throw. Not a lot of quarterbacks can make that throw. I don't think Joe Burrow can make that throw. I don't even think Josh Allen can make that throw. I don't. That pinpoint accuracy straight down the middle of the MVS, because the defender was right there.
Like I said, I thought it was picked. I thought it was dropped. There was no reaction.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the ball? And then he showed the ball. I'm like, oh, he caught it.
Yeah. And
MVS.
MVS.
Yep.
here. I'm here. I'm here.
He's stupid. But MVS. You gotta show love to MVS, man.
For sure.
When everybody was dropping like flies, dude was making plays last night. And we say what you want about MVS all season. It's all warranted. But last night, he showed up.
That was
he's been available all season.
Yeah.
That was this year's Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, when Pat needed a big play, MVS made the play. So I got to give props to MVS. Travis Kelce made the plays that he needed to make. Isaiah Pacheco made the plays that he needed. That catch and run on the outside where he runs through, runs to the two defenders and gets the first down. Sky Moore. I know we was all sweating bullets when we saw Sky Moore back there on punt return. But, hey, the man got us in good field position to get to that field goal position. Without that, we might not have been able to kick that field goal.
But you know what? It was a lot of these different plays and different players that we're seeing. Like you said, we talked about MVS being like this year, Sammy Watkins and how he showed up. Same thing with Moore. That's all I saw. All I saw was Hardman from a couple of years all over again.
When he had that big return.
Because Hardman had that bad muff. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a hard time and buried himself. But you know what? It's a testament to not just the players themselves, but it's a testament to the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Is that despite I'll leave this player nameless. But this is why MVS was given the room to be able to do that, because the quarterback believes in him, and the team believes in him. And for Sky Moore, it's the same thing. The team believes in him, and he stepped up and made the big thing and made it happen and made it work. Here.
Right on. And we got to give a shout out to the secondary, man. They was put in a tough spot. Your best corner goes out and probably with the first drive.
Yeah,
Sneak goes out on the first drive, man. He's the leader over there. You know what I'm saying? He's the one who galvanized the troops in that secondary with those young corners. And that thrust in the AFC Championship game to step up. Joshua Williams has to step up. Cook, he has to step up. McDuffie has to step up. Jalen Watson has to step up. And all of them made plays when it mattered. McDuffie, he dropped the interception, but he made a lot of key tackles for loss.
His tackling was
McDuffie almost. Actually, you know what? Even to go back to that first quarter, McDuffie almost had one in the first quarter himself.
Yeah. He but in that first drive, he almost had the interception.
Yep.
And McDuffie was great. Jalen Watson had a pick. He was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Cook had his struggles, but when it counted the most, he made a crucial play. He learned from his mistake from earlier in the play and read the play and read the ball and tipped it up for Joshua Williams and got the pick. So kudos to the young secondary going out there making plays when it mattered. These kids grew up before our eyes this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you got to give kudos to Brett Veach, man. He went out and got these guys. You know what I'm saying? That was our main problem last year.
7th round pick.
We didn't have the athletes to match. You know what I'm saying? And this year we did. We had guys who can stick with these receivers. Yeah,
the speed, the size, and
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. T. Higgins you saw in the highlights, he had a great touchdown catch, but he wasn't crazy impactful in this game. Jamar Chase, he had the same type of play. But he wasn't killing it.
Neither of them had over 100 yards.
They wasn't like just smoking it. They and a lot of that's attributed to the pass rush, but the secondary held up too. And you got to give them props, man. You got to give them props. So, what's y'all thoughts on the game overall?
Yeah, so I'll start with what you were saying about the secondary. I mean, we really saw them grow up, like you said, before our eyes. When we started back in week 1 to now, it's a complete difference with these guys. I mean, Jalen Watson making big plays. It always seems like he finds a way to make the big play. Joshua Williams making big plays out there. Brian Cook, the secondary showed out, the pass rush showed out, the defense altogether showed out in this game. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase did not have over 100 yards. Joe Mixon, eight carries, 18 yards. Samaje P. Ryan was like 4 carries, 20 yards. So they really locked in this game. They realized what it would take for the Chiefs to win this game. And what about the offense? I mean, Patrick Mahomes out there with the high ankle sprain. He played better than Joe Burrow did. Let's call it like it is. He was throwing to Marcus Kemp on key third downs, and he looked better than Joe Burrow did. That's because Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Dan Orlovsky, you can take that whack-ass take somewhere else talking about he's the best football player, but he's not the best quarterback. Take that somewhere else.
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Mark.
Well, everything that I said needed to happen on defensive end happened. I said they needed 4 to 5 sacks. That was the tail of the tape when they lost their games. It happened. I said they needed to force at least 2 turnovers on defense. It happened. The special teams for the Chiefs, which was the big adjustment, I said that was the key thing. The Chiefs had struggled in a lot of their losses with turnovers and special teams. They addressed that. They addressed all those issues. And then Chris Jones, one of the biggest key players, I don't need to say no more. He did what he was supposed to do. He showed up. He rose to the occasion. Not only did he get 1, but he got the 2. It was very Aaron Donald-esque, if that's the word. The performance that he had. And he showed why he needs to be paid. He was already going to get the bag. That game decided what kind of bag he was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about the others. The rookie core, we talked about the secondary. They all showed up. All in the secondary. We can also throw Karlaftis out there. He got his. All the rookies. It was like if there was a time for the rookies, and usually you don't talk about this in the postseason because usually it's somewhere in that regular season game where you say, oh, the rookies are balling out. But they were all over the place today, offense and defensive side. Sky Moore is that we were trying to figure out where he's going to fit in, where that was going to make it work. It was a little bit awkward. He had the big return. He did what he needed to do. Mahomes did Mahomes. He had that one little debacle. But you know what? They pulled it together when it was all said and done. I will say this. Cincinnati, they still get my respect because Burrow had to throw a perfect ball to get to Higgins. That was crazy. Chase, he had another spectacular catch down the field against 2, that we could talk about. It's a whole different story, but we're not going to sit here and poop on the parade of the Chiefs and what they did. Hats off to them. They did what they could with their linemen and stuff like that. But I can tell you what, though, I did not anticipate the Chiefs holding the receivers to less than 100 yards. I thought they were going to have 1 for sure. I thought they were going to have at least 1 running back with 100 yards for sure. But guess what? The Chiefs not only proved the other side wrong, but they shut some doubters down too. As far as as far as with the Chiefs fan base, they did. They said, you know what? We here. We ain't gonna make the same mistake we did last year. And they overcame all the adversity, whether it been the schedule, the referees. Say what you want to say. They here.
Yep.
Go ahead, Clarence. Get your spin on, sir.
How best to start? Let's see.
You got a Rolodex. You set the timer for 20 minutes.
I think it was week 13 prior to that game. You had Justin Reed, who said he could guard and lock up the tight end.
She did.
We talked about in the spaces with Zim and Ace Boogie and their little cheerleader about how, they were the better team. At that time, it was 0-2. We had a little bit of skin in that fight because it was a different team. It was a different feel. And you fast forward to the AFC title game. And while I wanted to be vocal, I shut up because it was 0-3. And I would get in these spaces and spend maybe 10 minutes of my time because I truly felt like I didn't need to listen any further than 10 minutes. And I listened to Zim, and he would talk about how Chiefs were the Chiefers, and how it was Burrowhead, and how Joe Burrow was the better quarterback. And I get all of that. Like, you're supposed to be supportive. But let's be honest. In 6 years' time, Joe Burrow, up to this point, Patrick Mahomes has one league MVP. He has a Super Bowl MVP. He has a Super Bowl ring. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, 5-time AFC title game representative. So for Zim, for Ace Boogie, for your cheerleader, y'all can eat dog shit and a nasty ass chili in your noodles, and you can go fuck right off. I mean, fuck right off. There's no reason for you to have your mouth open when all week, all you did was talk big shit. All week. You had your mouth open all week. You posted the Burrowhead comment, sir. That was you who did that foul, nasty shit. Y'all came in and y'all said y'all wanted respect, but y'all didn't give no respect all week. Y'all gave 0 respect all week. Y'all came in as if y'all had won that Super Bowl last year when you took that ass whooping. Some would say it was borderline prison assaultish, the way you got treated in that Super Bowl by Aaron Donald. But that's beside the fact. You have 0 rings to show for all of this great success that Jamar Chase has had and Joe Burrow has had, and high-powered. So how great your offense is. You barely won an AFC North. You barely won it. Let's just be honest.
Beat up Lamar Jackson.
You didn't beat the Baltimore Ravens at 100% healthy because Lamar wasn't playing. That defense gave y'all problems at the end of the regular season and into the postseason. There's no way you should feel confident about getting out of that game. You were 1 turnover difference in that game in the playoffs. Just 1. But yet you had all of this confidence. You're barely winning your division. You're barely winning your division. Appreciate that. Every time that you have played the Chiefs, it's been a margin of 3 points. 3. So I reiterate to them and everybody that follows and believes in and holds dear everything that you say. You can go and eat that nasty ass chili and your fucking noodles, and you can go fuck right off. I said that. I stand on that shit. Cincinnati Bengals fans who follows them can go fuck right off. I don't mix my words, so go fuck right off. There you go.
We should have played the ether of music in the background while you was talking.
Yeah, for real.
I should have told Mark to cue the ether music.
The level of disrespect, it was so disrespectful.
No,
and then you got
it was,
and then you have your questionable mayor. I'll hold those to the side, but for you to say that Burrow needs a DNA test, like you saw that black motherfucker that was in the stands. That's Patrick Mahomes' daddy. Mm-hmm. That's his daddy. He black like me. That's his daddy. Don't. You supposed to be a mayor. You supposed to run a city.
No worry about that.
And while you running that city, get that dog shit ass chili out them noodles. Don't nobody like that bullshit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Go fuck right off. Go fuck right off.
What Pop? What did Pop say? Smoking on that Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Pops was
This-
feeling it last night. He was
This
feeling it.
ends all debates. There should not be any more discussions
Yeah.
because within 6 years' time, this is year 6. This is Super Bowl number 3. All right. This is the 3rd AFC Championship within a 6-year time. He's about to have 2 league MVPs on top of a Super Bowl MVP, on top of a Super Bowl win so far. Potentially will be 2 Super Bowls. That gap has went extremely wider when you try to compare a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow. So again, Bengals fans who cling to every word that Zim has to say, go fuck right off. Fuck off. Fuck your space. Fuck everything that you got to say. Fuck everything that you think the Bengals stand for, because y'all some losing ass bitches. Go fuck off. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Siri, play hit him up.
That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
Y'all crazy. Well, no, let's talk about it, Joe. The receipts, baby.
The receipts.
Overseas, man.
The receipts.
Print them out real quick.
But it's not even this week.
They finally got us. Like, who are you?
Like who? We got who? Who they?
Who the fuck are y'all?
We even had Chris Jones in his comment section calling him
Yeah.
a clown.
Yeah, who the fuck are
He
y'all?
called him a clown.
I remember back, I respected the Bengals far more when they had Vontaze Burfict and Pac-Man on that squad. I respected them far more because back then, at least, they could somewhat back up some of that shit that they were chirping, which was primarily to the Steelers because they wanted to beat the Steelers. And they still couldn't do it consistently. Like, the Bengals ain't never been shit. And let's talk about this dude, Zim. Like, he's only been a Bengals fan since the 2000s has began. Like, he ain't been there through all that losing and suffering and them being dog shit. He's not that. So for him to criticize anything that the Chiefs do, like, bro, really go sit your punk ass down, bro. Like, seriously, have a seat. Have a seat.
Several.
Y'all need to focus on your draft. That's what's in front of you. Your draft and free agency.
Start doing mock drafts. Stop doing.
Don't
start
talk
doing
about
mock
how
drafts.
the Chiefs better win. Don't talk about how the refs fucked y'all because the refs fucked everybody. There was fuckery on both sides.
For the
Don't
record,
talk about the
That Wiley
refs and all
Hole.
that bullshit. Don't talk. I don't want to hear none of it.
for the
Shut
record,
the
that
fuck
was
up and go fuck right off.
the same officiating crew that they had last year
Yep.
down in Cincinnati. Is that
That
we
screwed us
That,
over.
that let him get away with all them push-offs.
especially in that first game, because remember
Yeah.
Snead. I remember distinctly when they had that goal line stand. You had a phantom call on that one that gave him another free first down, and then you had to throw out out of bounds with Snead made. We said it was in bounds. They said it was unnecessary roughness.
Where they
It
had
was
like
still
6-8 times in the red zone in Cincy. Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, that was the same team.
and it's and that's the crazy part about it though, because if you go down social media, you'll see down the timeline as far as with the AFC. They talking about the refs being the player of the game and all this stuff. You never seen the AFC referee go to the win the AFC championship. For those that don't know what they're talking about and they chirping that and putting that out there on social media, go look at that game and go do your homework. Because understand that's the same officiating crew that they had in that first matchup last year.
The very first meeting they had Ron Torbert with them because the other officiating crew couldn't make it to the stadium or had COVID or whatever.
So that very same narrative, that if you're going to keep that same energy, you better know what you're talking about. Go back to that game. It's the exact same situation.
But let's talk
They
about
can go
that.
fuck right off.
Let's talk about that real quick. So one of the plays that was in question was the whole they had to redo the third down, and they showed the field judge coming on the field. He was trying to stop the play. Let's not leave that out. They showed evidence that he was trying to come on the field. They just couldn't hear because Arrowhead was so damn loud. So they reached down. Yeah, did it look bad? Did the optics look bad? Yeah, it did. But you guys stopped us. You got us off the field. So what are you complaining about?
Yep.
Then they was talking about the intentional grounding, which I thought it was intentional grounding.
It was.
Because P. Ryan wasn't even in the area.
He threw it at the foot of an offensive lineman.
He was running up the field. But okay, you got the 3rd and 16 on the next plays. None of those penalties kept y'all from winning the game. They had ample opportunities to win that game. Ample opportunities to win that game. And what did they do? They choked.
They choked. Chris Jones showed up.
Yes. Joe Burrows had 2 opportunities in the 4th quarter to win that game. They punted and they got sacked. Oh, he threw a pick. He threw a pick on one, and then they had to punt back to us. And that's when Sky Moore took the ball down the field and got to like the 40. So I don't want to hear nothing about no rig. I've been hearing it all day. The Chiefs and the refs are going to the Super Bowl. Man, I don't want to hear that.
But let the Bengals have won that game. Imagine the amount of shit talk. They would still be talking big shit.
Yeah,
Twitter would be unbearable for every Chiefs fan that's on Twitter had the Bengals won that game.
I wouldn't have been here.
Zim would have opened a space at 2 a.m. and that bitch would still be going right now.
Yeah,
with all they Bengals fans.
Where's those spaces at today?
They got them going. No, they had them going. They had them going all night.
I'll tell you what though.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Let me say one more thing. For Chiefs fans that jump into a Zim space and say, well, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Good game. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all can go fuck right off too. Because when they talking shit, you don't respond. Even back to 2 games ago, you didn't respond. You acted like you didn't have a spine. And you let them talk shit. And then after last night, you jump in their space and you try to give them some sympathy when they could give 2 shits about your sympathy. They talked so much shit and was so disrespectful. And for you to give them some sympathy, miss me with that bullshit.
Yeah.
He put it in your face. The image of Mike Hilton and the other DBs on the sidelines calling it Burrowhead. He put it in your face. What do you need to show him sympathy for? Fuck him and fuck you. If you're a Chiefs fan and you have sympathy or you feel sorry for him, fuck him and fuck you. I'm not going to mix my words. They were so disrespectful and they hadn't ever won anything. Think about what you're doing. You mean to tell me you have a once-in-a-lifetime generational guy at quarterback? Mm-hmm. You have the best tight end to ever play the game. And you want to have sympathy for them when they think that their weapons and their quarterback is far better? They don't even feel like it's a discussion between Joe Burrow and Patrick. Are you fucking kidding me? They can't even give Patrick Mahomes the credit he deserves. So fuck him and fuck you.
Yep.
You say it so calm, Clarence.
He did too.
Hey man, I'm just calling it like it is, dog. When we didn't talk, in them spaces, and we didn't post shit in them spaces or on Twitter about them the entire fucking week.
At all.
Yep. We stayed quiet, man. All. And they just kept going and kept going and kept going. And there was nothing we could say because we had got beat 3 times straight in a calendar year. Mm-hmm. And we took it. So fuck them.
Yep.
They can go find whatever they need in a draft to try to make them better. They can go try to get whatever they think they need in free agency, but they're done.
Yeah.
Their season is over. They're not coming to work this week to practice on a game plan for 2 weeks from now.
They're on the
They're
way to
done.
Cancun.
They mean shit to me. And the way that Eli Apple talked to Stephon Diggs, like you couldn't guard Eli Apple wouldn't have been able to guard Stephon Diggs in a phone booth.
Them Cancun jokes are going to come back to haunt them.
And for
Yeah, it
Eli
is.
Apple to be talking that level of dog shit to Stephon Diggs, like
who are you?
You way the fuck out of your league talking that shit to Diggs. You know what I'm saying? Like
the audacity.
Diggs is one of those.
Yeah.
Like he's
top
of
5.
Those. Eli, you got your ass kicked in the Super Bowl by Cooper Kupp.
Smoked you.
So for you to continuously having your mouth open, bro, like you need to go eat some of that dog shit chili that y'all serve and shut the fuck
He
up.
probably won't even be on the team next year.
He barely survived the team this year.
He did. If it wasn't for Woozier getting hurt,
his ass would still be on the bench.
He might have got cut.
Yeah. He dog shit.
He's
dog shit.
Be playing for the Texans right now.
Yeah, he's dog shit, bro.
Smoked
fuck the Bengals. Yeah. To hell with the Bengals, man. To hell with them, dog.
Yeah.
Here's a good one for you though. They say a cat got 9 lives, right? 5 sacks, 2 turnovers, a penalty, and it's only fitting to lose that 9th one on a field goal kick.
Yep.
Killed him. Got him out of here.
Yep.
And like I said, I still stand by it. Y'all lucky. It should have been worse.
It should have been. It would have been.
It should have been. It should have been. But my only rant, and I ain't gonna rant like Clarence did. I ain't gonna rant. I already knew to book that. Black it off. I already knew. The only rant that I have about the Chiefs was the execution from the 3rd into the 4th. That's the only rant that I have.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm sitting there and I know I could not have been the only one screaming this, like, run the ball. Get it to the 4th, run the ball. That was my only rant that I had. Other than that,
what about that turnover that they got just before half that they didn't get no points on?
Yeah.
You should have got points there.
They should have. They should have.
At least 3.
They should have. In the first half, it was kind of like going in the same flow as it was in the previous 3, where the Chiefs had all the momentum, and then you had that one little debacle. But like I said, I had said this, like this, the Bengals are a second half team. They're one of the best. As a matter of fact, you could say that the Bengals arguably won that second half last night too, because it was a 10-point margin. Was it 10 or 7? I think it was 7 going to the half.
It was 7,
right?
yeah.
It was 7. It was 7 going to the half. The game was ended up decided by 3, so they had a 4-point advantage. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs were able to withstand it just enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But bottom line is they got the job done.
Because I ain't gonna lie to you, when Mahomes fumbled that football, I said, "Here we go." That's gonna be the play. That's the play that we gonna. I was like, "Here we go." Mm-hmm. That's gonna be the Travis Kelce fumble, man. Mm-hmm. Like,
it's all.
But
that one play.
But it was like we said though, because even the last time, and I remember you texting you, Chris. I said this should be a drive where they should be getting close to the end. They should at least keep the ball from as much as possible. Mm-hmm. Run the ball. Do what you got to do, and they kept throwing the ball, and you knew with the injury and all that stuff, something like that in the cold, those are bad elements to go against. Mm-hmm. And that was the one thing I had. I'm like, this is the result of what happens when you don't run the ball.
Because we was like at the 30. We was right at the 30, and on that drive, we could have put the game away right there.
Right I said at worst it should have been at least 10 on that drive.
Yeah, because we would have went up 27-13 right there. So, man. And when he fumbled, I was like, no, not like this.
That was hurtful.
Not like this, bro. But, hey, shout out to the defense. They showed up. They showed up. And the defense won us the game. They put us in position and kept us in that game. They was on Joe Burrow's ass all night. Yep. He felt it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He felt it. He did. He
You can
felt
see he's a different kind of player when he gets that pressure on him like that.
You
He's
saw him
not
in
the
the
same
fourth,
guy.
you saw him in the fourth quarter on that sideline.
Mhm.
Usually he go on the
Mhm.
sideline, look at his clip, sit down.
Mhm.
He was over there at the offensive line like, "Hey guys, you gotta get it going. You gotta get it going. They on my ass."
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
knew it. And what
Mhm.
happened? The closer
Mhm.
came in. My man Chris Jones, the closer,
Mhm.
closed it out. Pat, y'all do your thing, and we got it down there. And hey, Brad Pat, when he needed to, he made the crucial run. Shout out to whatever that player, I don't know how to say his name on Cincinnati, that linebacker. But hey, man, he can't be hitting the quarterback when he's
Oh, you talking about Osai?
yeah, he can't be hitting the
Mhm.
Oh,
quarterback when he's out of bounds. He already giving himself up. Why would you
and,
touch him?
and the crazy part about it too was Osai. You know, he was on him. He's going after him, and then I'm sitting like, oh, that's a 15. Then also saw him hyperextend. I was like, man, that came at a cost there. He straight up
Mhm.
hyperextend his knee on that one. I'm like, oof. But
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
but you know what? Shout out to Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's the definition of putting your body on the line when it mattered the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that man didn't run all he didn't run all game, and he knew he had to get that first down.
Yep.
At least get it close enough for Buckner to kick that field goal.
Mm-hmm. I
And
feel
and then just the 15-yard penalty was just kind of like, you know, we should
And I
go ahead
agree
and
with
put this
this
away.
with this comment here. What was the start of that second half? That first drive was terrible.
it was
That first drive was bad.
it was typical Kansas City Chiefs fashion 2022-2023 style. And I said that was a concern. Last year on third quarters when they came out, or last season when they came out the gates in third quarters, usually that'd be the quarter they own. This season, it's been the other way around where they just manage the third quarter. They have been doing that probably since like maybe week 13, week 14, where they'll manage and then they'll turn it up in the fourth quarter. It was a concern. They came out flat. You know, they played the same style, but fortunately, it still worked out for them when it was all said and done. I ain't gonna go into what's gonna look like in the next game. We're not here to talk about the next game right now.
Yeah,
We're just here to pretty much take in what we saw, what we got, and hey, they pulled through.
most definitely. And this is where we got to talk about Brett Veach, man. Hey, man. As much criticism Brett Veach was getting in the past,
Yep.
this man has turned this team into, he's done what needs to be done. We lost Tyreek Hill. Everybody was in panic mode.
Not
It
me.
was Tyreek Hill.
Not me.
But if you think from a logical football sense, you can't pay everybody. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
The salary cap makes it to where they don't want you to pay everybody because they want parity in this league. They want everybody to be on the even playing field, when it comes to, the league. So they make it to where you can't pay Joe Burrow or you can't pay Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Chris Jones. Like they make it to where you can't do that. So you have to make decisions. Now they were willing to pay Tyreek Hill at a certain price, but we all know how the story goes. But he went out and he loaded up on his defense. If we had paid Tyreek Hill, we might not have had the defense that we had this season. These young players, the Trent McDuffies, the George Karlaftis, we wouldn't have had both of those guys. We would have only probably had either or, but we wouldn't have had him and Karlaftis in the first round. We got that first round pick for Tyreek Hill. This is the combination of the Tyreek Hill trade coming together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even though Sky Moore didn't play a lot, he made a crucial play in this game. You know what I'm saying? The Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, Brian Cook, like these guys made
George Karlaftis getting that sack.
Yeah, like they made crucial plays, but you got to give credit to Brett Veach. He went out there and got these guys. And shout out to the scouting team. They went and brought these kids in. You know what I'm saying? Brett Veach threw numbers at the secondary. He knew we got to get young. We got to get fast.
We got to get size.
We had to get size.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get bigger. We can't have shout out to Honey Badger. He brought us a Super Bowl. He did. but he was just too small. And that was it caught up to him. It caught up to him. When your play diminishes and your size you small, it's gonna show. He was making business decisions last year. There was a lot of time where there was some tackles that he could have had, and he just let dude because he didn't want to make that tackle. He just didn't want to. And now we got kids out there young, they flying around, they want to prove something. You know what I'm saying? They hungry. When you get that Super Bowl and you older, you know that hunger kind of, it kind of goes away a little bit.
It dies out a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, it kind of goes away a little bit. But you got these young kids, they ain't never been in this situation before. Some of them coming from bad programs in college. They ain't never tasted.
Yep. They ain't never won nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So they going out there laying it out there for the team. And like I said, it has to go to the coaching too. They coach these kids up, and now it's paying off. They bought into the system. As much as we talk about Spags dialed it up. Not just in the Jacksonville game too. He has dialed it up. He's showing y'all. And we always talk about it. In the regular season, these guys played the thing close to the vest. They couldn't put all their chips out there, first of all, because they got a bunch of rookies out here. So we got to keep this thing simple. We got to play in a simple package just so we can get these kids to buy into this. Until I can throw out all the exotic stuff and the stunts and the twists
They're
and
gonna
all
be locked
that,
in by then.
NASCAR package and all that stuff, and had the safety, look like he's about to rush and back. And like, I can't do all that exotic stuff right now because these kids don't. I can't. They're new. You know what I'm saying? I could do that with Tyrann Mathieu and all them was in the backfield. I can't do it with these, so I gotta take baby steps. But I guarantee you this: by the playoffs,
they're gonna be ready.
They're gonna be ready if they buy into the program.
And they were.
Did.
The way it was picture perfect. And I've been saying this for some weeks. The schedule couldn't have prepared them any better to get them to this point.
Yep.
The schedule itself, having the first 8 out the gate, playing against previous playoff teams, and to add on top of that, playing a receiving core like you have with the Chargers. And playing a receiving core like the Raiders, despite who their quarterback is, it's not an easy ask to stop somebody like Devontae Adams when you still got to worry about Waller and you still got to worry about Renfro. You still got to worry about that. And this year, and there was actually a loophole.
Matt Collins.
Yeah, Hollins, and you can throw a loophole as far as with the running game and having to maintain a Jacobs, and even with on the Chargers side having to deal with Eckler. It's not easy. It's like, granted, the records really didn't show for it. They were still there, and also having to play and. For the offense, for them to have to battle, we could talk about the Broncos. Their offense absolutely sucked. That's everything that speaks for itself. Shout out to the Jets for getting Nathaniel Hackett, but it's going to be a whole different problem for them to deal with. But for the offense to play a team like the Denver Broncos that's physical on defense, that's the kind of stuff that prepares them for these moments. But the fact, and even with Watson, what's impressive about him, he was on the bad side of it in the beginning, but he needed that. And then for him to be playing with a bad hand and for him to be doing what he's doing makes it that much more impressive. Yeah. Cook, he had maybe like one thing where I was kind of, that was more so of a learning curve. I thought I was playing. I was like, that's interesting to be playing in a 3rd and 14. They got beat by it. But for him to bounce back and to make those plays, to see 2 rookies, especially with Williams, though, because Williams, I'm watching him. He's like, he's made mistakes. So you can go back to the Seattle game where he had a bad ending to like that first half, and then he had another rough series, the game after that. But then he turned it around when his number was called. Him not expecting it. We've seen players flop, in certain situations where it was their turn to be called, and they got exposed. Not this go around. Shout out to the defense for having them prepared. Shout out to Spags. Shout out to those coordinators and everything. And you know what? We're going to talk about one coordinator, and it wasn't really much of a storyline, but it should have been. What else do Bieniemy got to do?
That's a story for another day, man.
What else he got to do?
It's getting ridiculous now.
This
man has been to 5 straight AFC Championship games. He's about to go to his third Super Bowl, but he has to settle for an offensive coordinator job.
Mhm.
Did you hear me? He has to.
But Frank,
He has-
Frank Wright can go get him a job after that disastrous tenure in Indy.
for him to get a head coaching job, he's got to prove that he can call plays somewhere else. But Doug Peterson didn't have to do that.
Matt Nagy didn't have to do that.
Nah. I know those guys had to do it. But he has to make a lateral move and go coach potentially a Lamar Jackson, or he's got to go, wherever else.
Tennessee,
Nashville, or somewhere like that.
Carolina. Well, yeah, probably Carolina. It's like I'm pretty sure they're still in the hunt, but it makes no sense.
I don't get it, man. I don't know. Is he clipping his toenails in the interview or something? Like, what's going on?
Dallas is looking for an OC now too. That might be a decent fit.
They ain't gonna bring him in.
They ain't gonna bring him in, but I will say that their former OC will probably be making their way down to the Chargerville, though. I definitely see that.
They already said he's going there.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, they said it on Colin Cowherd today. Yeah,
when Austin Eckler snapping the ball in a crucial moment versus the Chiefs.
They just got worse.
We already know.
I'd have been more scared that they got Eric Bieniemy as their OC.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All this.
I was like, oh no, they got him. No.
All the Chargers did pretty much just put their head coach in the hot seat even more. That's all it did.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And Sean Payton's waiting. He's still waiting.
I'm telling y'all. I mean, especially
they might give it to Kellen Moore.
But even
you got to think about that too.
But even so, in the Broncos, they're still talking about they're desperate, and they're still talking to Harbaugh after he had his mindset on staying in Michigan.
Nobody wants to go there.
To me, I honestly think Peyton's sitting out. I think he's sitting out.
Me too.
And I think he will be. I mean, I don't want him to be head coach of the Chargers. I think that's realistically going to happen. I mean, you kind of hope he'd rather go to Dallas instead because you got to deal with that mastermind scheme. But that's just what I think. Period.
He's holding out for Dallas or LA next year.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, despite all the success, the person I do feel bad for is Bieniemy because realistically, he should be the one that's going. You know what? Washington actually is a good.
Yeah, that is
actually Washington is because they're doing clean house. When the owner he get rid of that. They need a new head coach, GM. That's what everything
in the front office.
Yeah.
Go get Lou Riddick.
Exactly.
Go get him. And Lou Riddick, you know what, Lou Riddick? You get my respect on this chat because you're the only analyst and person I really see on these TV and the waves and everything that I actually really respect that stands by his pick and actually has the facts to be able to back it up. Not this, I think this and blah, blah, blah. No, this dude delivers the fact and has delivered the real. So shout out to Lou Riddick. You prove yourself to be right with the rest of us. Here's to you.
Yeah, man. But yeah, as far as Eric Bieniemy, man, this is ridiculous. It's getting stupid now. It's just dumb. Like, what else does he got to prove to y'all, man? Like, I don't get it.
Fix Kyler Murray's video game problem? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like,
5 years, the number one offense in the league.
AFC Championship.
5 years, AFC Championship. Three
Super Bowls. One of them won. Give me a break.
2 MVPs. I mean, 2 MVPs out of the quarterback that you're coaching. And you mean to tell me he can't get a head coaching job, but other guys out there can? Why is Mike Kafka being interviewed for a head coaching job when he's been the offensive coordinator in New York for one season? One season. And their offense was not that successful, in my opinion. Yeah, they took leaps from last year, but they're not a top 10 offense. They're not even a top 15 offense.
What's he got to do? Open a Popeyes? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't get it, Brito. I don't get it either. But whatever. Well, earlier, there was another game that was on, and it was the NFC Championship. And unfortunately, it wasn't much of a game because Brock Purdy got hurt. He got hurt, and
It caught up with him.
it caught up with him. Hassan Reddick comes off the edge, hits Brock Purdy in the arm, fumble the football.
Perfectly legal. They
Hurts
did what they did.
Hurts his elbow, and it was pretty much all she wrote after that. It was, kudos to the Eagles. They did what they were supposed to do. It got a little chippy at the end. My man Trent Williams out there slamming folks like he was in the Royal Rumble. He was wrestling the night before.
Ooh, if the Chiefs would have paid him, my goodness.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Last night would have been a different result.
Exactly.
It's stonewalling dudes.
But I mean, I'm not going to sit here and discredit because even so, we can talk about some of the same issues and stuff like that. The defense was right there in it, but what can you expect from Josh Johnson, though? Even before he got hurt.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to concede to Clarence on something. God damn it, you might be right.
About, sir?
Yeah, he might be right. He's right.
I'm sorry, about what?
You might be right.
That might be right about what?
That old ass man might be coming to the 49ers.
Yeah. I give him that. Honestly, I give him that.
That old ass man might be going to the 40.
Look, the only time Tom Brady was not durable was the year he tore his ACL.
Oh man.
That was in Kansas. That was at Arrowhead too, wasn't it?
That was at Arrowhead.
No, that was in New England. That was up in Foxborough when Bernard Pollard.
Bernard Pollard,
yeah,
baby.
that was up there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
John Lynch is sitting there like, I got this damn roster.
And I don't got a quarterback.
And I'm one piece away.
He going to the NFC Championship game.
Because for whatever reason, Kyle Shanahan hates Jimmy Garoppolo. For whatever reason, he hates Jimmy. Because Jimmy should have been suited up yesterday.
Yeah, he should have been.
He was over there laughing. He's glad I ain't had to play.
If Jimmy would have played, they probably would have beat Philly. Because Jimmy don't waste throws. He doesn't turn the ball over.
He's a game manager. He's basically another Alex Smith.
It doesn't matter. They don't lose with Jimmy.
No.
They don't.
But you know what? The 49ers have proved that, though, over the last couple of years. And somebody had made a good point about this,
Kyle don't like him. Kyle just don't like him.
The reality is that all they really need is somebody that can manage the game. I mean, think about the people that they've had to use to get to the NFC title games. You're talking about people like Alex Smith. You're talking about your boy Kaepernick. All he had to do was manage.
No, Kaepernick put on a show.
And even with Purdy,
Kaepernick put on a show.
Actually, he put on the show, but
especially that Green Bay Packers game on that run.
Thank you,
man.
He put on the show, but like I said, I'll never forget that the year they went to the Super Bowl against the Ravens. I said Kaepernick is not the guy. I said if I were them, I would start at Alex Smith, and they get out to that raggedy start in the Super Bowl, and then it was too late.
They cut the cords.
Alex wasn't
the power out of this game.
Yeah, Alex.
No, he was available. They just decided to roll with him because I think he was available like late in the season. But they said, and I get it. They kept the hot hand in there. They rolled with the hot hand. But I said, I don't know. I said something about this says go with Alex Smith in that game.
No.
And
Kaepernick was a dog in that system. Yeah, Kaepernick had more weapons than Lamar because Kaepernick had Crabtree, Vernon Davis, Frank Gore. I can't remember who was on the backside of Crabtree.
But
they had weapons, dog. They had weapons.
They did, but against that Ravens defense, though, there's just some tangibles that could not be that. I thought Alex Smith understood better compared to
Cap. It's called Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. Like, there's no way Ray Lewis is going to the Super Bowl with Ed Reed and they losing that. After they had just beaten the Patriots up in Foxborough. They had just beaten the Patriots that year. You know what I'm saying? Like, And Joe Flacco was playing out of his mind that playoff run. Like
Mhm.
he
I don't
beat
know what
Peyton in Denver. Like
I don't know what it was about Joe Flacco in the playoffs. That switch would click on, and that man would play out of his. He was like Eli.
and he was playing for a contract that year.
Yeah,
Like
he
he had
was.
bet on himself and was playing for that contract. You know what I'm saying? Like
Because you remember the
it was
year
tough
before,
to beat him.
Because you remember the year before they had went and he had threw that pass. I think it was to Lee Evans, and Lee Evans had dropped
It was
that
Lee
game.
Evans dropped
He had
it
dro-
in
he had
Foxborough.
dropped- He had dropped that game-winning touchdown. They would have won
In
and went to the Super
Foxborough.
Bowl. They would have won that Super Bowl. They would have went to the Super Bowl that year, man. So did they come back to it and they beat them?
With a
On
T
the road?
Suggs, with
Yeah.
T
On the road.
Suggs, Ray Lewis,
Mhm.
and Ed Reed on that defense.
Yep.
That's
Mhm.
tough. That's
They
tough for
went through.
anybody.
They went through Peyton, Tom
Mhm.
Brady, and then
Mhm.
obviously Colin Kaepernick in the Super Bowl. But Kaepernick played a great second half in that Super Bowl. If you go back and watch it, but
Crabtree just
After,
couldn't catch
we
the
all know
ball.
what happened.
it was they woke up after that kick return in that second half. That was
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they ran it back, and then the court, and then the power went out, and then that was when the whole thing. I said, oh, here we go.
Mhm.
But it was too little, too late.
Mhm.
The NFL stepped in. That would have been a boring game. They cut them cords.
Cord cutters.
But go back and tell me what I was right about again, Ty, Chris.
TV12 might be headed to San Francisco,
I think so.
Go,
Points.
baby, let's go.
but he's
Yes,
Points
a
sir.
shell of himself.
You are a fucking high shit, Ty. You are a fucking high ass shit right now. There's no way Tom is a shell of himself.
No, that
I'm
man can
telling
still
you right
make
now,
it.
I'm
You
just
put-
messing with you.
You put him in San Francisco,
with those
you
weapons, that
getting-
running game.
yes, Brandon
Offensive
Ayuk
line.
and Greg Kittle finna put on a
That
fucking show if
defense,
Tom Brady go there. He'll put
They'll
on
be
a
right
show.
back where they were yesterday if they get.
Greg Kittles will get over 1,000 yards again if Tom
Who's
goes.
Greg?
to San Francisco.
Who's Greg Kittle?
See, you see what I mean? George, Greg,
George-
whatever the fuck
George
his name is.
That is
You knew the last name. You knew his last name. You knew who the fuck I was talking about.
I'm getting you back because last week you was on my ass.
He
every
was
time I
on- he
fucking
was
up.
on it.
You did it again today. He called Bucker Buckner today.
See,
Y'all didn't catch it.
see,
I didn't
was-
catch
He
it.
I was
called
waiting.
he,
I was
he
waiting for you to
called
say
Bucker Buckner. And I ain't say shit. I just let it slide.
something. I wanted you to say something. I wanted
Nah, I let the shit slide. Asshole.
Hey man, I gave you your props. Gave you your props today. I said you was right. I don't like doing that, Clarence.
That's all right. Everybody hate the bad guy every now and then.
I don't
Wait
like
till-
doing that, Clarence.
Wait till them and them see this shit.
Oh,
I'll fuck around and get
Oh,
blocked.
shit, we got.
I'm chopping it up and put
You
the
better
Ether-
clip
I'm
it
gonna
up
put
and-
Ether in the background.
I said that shit. I don't care.
I mean, honestly, Clarence, I mean, your take might be right as far as with Tom Brady to the 49ers and Garoppolo to the Raiders. That,
It
that,
makes
that,
perfect sense.
that looks very
It does make
It makes
perfect
sense.
sense too.
the way that
makes sense.
it's rolled out.
He about to be slaying all kinds of women out here, boy. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be laying them down. But...
Sling it from shore to shore. You better know it. That's why I wonder why Kyle was so upset with Jimmy. Like, I was trying to process this morning. Like, man, Jimmy had to do something egregious to make Kyle hate him this much. But he can't just be mad
I
solely
think it
at
was
Jimmy.
the off
Like,
season.
and what did Jimmy do in the offseason that he didn't like? Would he knock something down
They
that
said
Kyle
that he
wanted?
wasn't
They
rehabbing.
like, man, get the fuck out of here.
They said he
Jimmy-
wasn't rehabbing.
Jimmy put his hand in the wrong cookie jar. That's what it is. Don't no man hate you this much. But he shouldn't be mad at solely Jimmy because it takes two to party. That's all I'm saying. Come on, Kyle. You can't be mad at Jimmy like this. It take two.
They was
He didn't.
out.
He wasn't
out.
forcing nothing.
They was out. The chick that he wanted Jimmy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
But she
saying?
said, yeah. She didn't tell Jimmy, no, I like Kyle. She said, come on.
She should come
Grab
said,
that
"I
baby
want
oil
you."
on your way in the door. You know what I'm saying? She told Jimmy to grab the baby oil. Jimmy didn't suggest the baby oil. She did. All right? Come on, Kyle.
It was him. It was Sean McVay. And,
Yeah.
they was out kicking it. Matt LaFleur. They was
Yeah,
all
yeah.
kicking it. Cliff was there too.
Mm-hmm. Here come this motherfucker Jimmy.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
don't stand a chance.
You
It ain't Jimmy. It ain't Jimmy's fault. Jimmy just being Jimmy.
They had to cuff the girls, before Jimmy get there.
And listen,
Jimmy coming.
Jimmy the type of person, he don't have to. That's what I'm saying. Jimmy don't have to bring the baby oil. They got the baby oil ready for Jimmy. All he got to do is bring his body and some rubber gloves.
Oh God.
That's it. That's it.
Rubber
You know you gotta have them rubber gloves because it gets. Never mind. This wrong show. Wrong show. Wrong show.
About to get canceled.
Wrong show.
About to get canceled.
I'll stop. I digress.
They better take us away, man.
How my man said on the longest short, I'm sorry. He broke it in my nose. I'm sorry.
He's tired of losing because he can't finish. Oh, I don't know if he blows it like a Dak and Lamar. I mean,
No, I wouldn't go that
I would
far.
say Lamar blows it. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, Dak. I mean, let's just get it right. I mean, Dak and let's throw the whole Cowboys organization, McCarthy. Let's be realistic. The way they blow it is poor clock management. First of all,
Yeah,
they did the same thing this year as they
Lousy
did
play
last
calling
year.
too.
Lousy play calling. The last play call of that game was a testament to. I'm still scratching my head on that one.
But it's been like that since. But that play calling been like that since Kellen Moore been there though. That play calling's been uninspired since Kellen Moore took over.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go back and you look at Jason Garrett when he had Dak. Dak wasn't throwing about 35, 40 times a game.
No.
That shit was even, straight down the middle. Dak didn't have it wasn't put all on Dak.
Coach
and how you expect Dak to throw 30, 40 times a game when you got a CD Lamb, you got some tight ends that are consistent, you got Tony Pollard, but you don't have anything consistent on the other side in terms of wide receivers. Mm-hmm. And you didn't fix that problem in the offseason.
T.Y. Hilton off of retirement.
You know what I'm saying?
T.Y.
Like, you can't do that to him.
Weddle. He's trying to pull an Eric Weddle and show up late. That's what happened.
Yeah. You can't do that to him. And let's look at it. So, like, Dak's first year, he had Dez Bryant and Terrence Williams and Cole Beasley.
He ain't got no weapons either.
No,
he Jason Witten. He don't have the same shit. So why is Kellen Moore expecting him to throw the ball 30 times a game? Why? He didn't do it in college. He didn't do it when he first came in the league. So why are you putting this expectation on him after he had just came back from that dislocated ankle?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why Kellen Moore just abruptly lost his job.
Yep.
Because he don't have a pulse of what's truly going on. It's his system or no way at all. Like, you can't do that to quarterbacks. I don't understand offensive coordinators and head coaches that come in and try to put their scheme in with a guy that it doesn't fit. I don't understand that. You look at Brian Dable. You look at what he had in Buffalo, and then you look at what he got in the Giants. That was a totally different offense than what he ran in Buffalo.
Yep.
It couldn't be the same because you don't have the same weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way to be a good OC or a good head coach. It's a curtail what you have to fit the guys that you have. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't do that. Kellen Moore is a fucking moron.
He's going to the Chargers. Bro. He's going to be in LA next year.
And he's going to do the same shit to Justin Herbert. But Herbert's built for it, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
And he's in there just talking about Dak and the Cowboys, even with Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson for him is basically Mark Andrews or bust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even with their backup, and you know what? And this is really more of a testament to the Kansas City Chiefs, though, as far as when one man goes down, you know,
it's
the next man how Henny's able to step up because he was able to execute and utilize his reads and stuff like that. You know, we're talking about experience, but also the preparation of it too. Because there have been occasions, even with Tyler Huntley, there were a couple times where I questioned him. Forget about, you know, that stupid thing that he did this year. There was a game where they played I think it was the Green Bay Packers, I think it was. And then we all knew the play was going to Andrews. We all knew. And I think that was pretty much the game plan. They were going to force it to him no matter what. But then on that very same play, you had Hollywood Brown coming across on a drag, I believe, and he was wide open. If you teach your quarterbacks to allow themselves to trust their instincts to make that read, they win the game. Or it will went to overtime at worst.
And that's why I never liked Greg Roman. I never liked Greg Roman. I always thought he coached scared. He limited Lamar Jackson a lot. Like he wouldn't open up that playbook. I never ever lied. I thought he hindered Lamar Jackson from winning some games.
And then he got rid of Hollywood, and he was. And don't get me wrong, like Rashad Bateman, he turned a huge corner this year. His play was exceptional before he got hurt.
Yeah, he was.
So I think he was trending in the right direction. But for you to look at that and say, we're fine with what we got. Like you need a Steve Smith again, because Steve Smith was built for that type of offense with an attitude. Like you need somebody that will stick their head in there on run blocking and be able to make tough catches over the middle to take that pressure off of a Mark Andrews. They need to get a dog at wide receiver.
That's why they need to go after D Hop or something.
Yes, they do.
That. Go get D Hop. You get a D Hop, and with a Rashad Bateman, you know what I'm saying, and Mark Andrews, possibly somebody in the draft.
Maybe a third guy, like I mean, Duvernay ain't bad for a third guy though. If
he's not bad, but I would say a more reliable, receiver. But like somebody, but you get somebody in the draft in the third or fourth round, possibly a speed guy. That's what they need. They need a guy who can take the top off. They need
a Zay Flowers. They need Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
The kid from BC.
Yeah,
he's from Boston College.
Yeah, that kid. He was making. I saw.
He's special.
That dude.
I don't know what the hell Bucky Brooks is looking at, talking about they should draft the quarterback from Florida. Like, why would you draft the quarterback from Florida when you dealing with you have that guy in the building already? Like,
yeah, exactly.
The Ravens are not letting Lamar Jackson go.
I don't think
anybody that believes that Lamar won't be a Raven next year, you're out of your mind. Like they know what they got in Lamar. They know. They got to figure out how to pay him.
That's the thing. They should have been took care of that man a long time ago.
And I'm gonna say this: he needs to be paid the same as Josh and a Joe Burrow would get. Anything less than that is an insult.
I mean,
because he's got a league MVP.
No, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, should it really be the same though?
Yeah, because he's got a league MVP.
Should be more.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying it should be more. I'm saying should it be more like north of as opposed to the same? Because
that's what I was implying.
Because Lamar has had at least 2 seasons where he's been able to do that, and really, I think it's more like a holdback, whatever. But he do deserve to get paid.
If I'm Lamar Jackson, the starting talking point is Deshaun Watson's contract.
Yeah.
Oh, them idiots.
That's what we starting at right there. That's the number.
Deshaun reset it. And let's be honest, the Bengals are not the Bengals if Lamar Jackson is healthy. They don't beat the Ravens.
They don't win that division.
They've beaten him one time when Lamar was a quarterback. They beat him one time when Lamar was healthy, and that was simply because Marcus Peters was out, Marlon Humphrey was out. You had injuries along the defensive front. Ronnie Stanley was out. You know what I'm saying? I can keep going. He had lost both running backs. I think it was 3 running backs they were down. Like
because that's when they had overrated, because they was out there playing with 4th string corners and stuff. And that's when they had overrated that game with Joe Burrow when he threw for like 500 something yards. You better throw it for 500 yards. It's practice squad guys.
Mahomes would have had 700 yards on that defense.
Absolutely. I don't know if he won't ever win a Super Bowl.
Like, I'm not gonna say that, man.
I can't say that.
You see what Jalen Hurts is over here doing? They're the same type of quarterback. Like you can win if you get weapons.
If you build it right. If you build it right.
But that's
the Eagles.
That's credit
how to do
it. That's the GM. That's all GM.
Yep.
And you
Right
saw
there.
what happened to Josh Robinson or John Robinson in Tennessee for letting AJ leave. They fired his
Yep.
ass. You saw that happen.
But that's why I said with Tennessee, I mean, realistically, the offense, it's got to be an OC or bust, because I just think if they don't get this OC right, I think your boy the running back Henry is out.
Oh yeah.
He'll be on another team next year.
And I'm I got two theories. Theory one, I think Aaron Rodgers fits best with the Titans.
And will still lose.
I don't think so, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. And I wouldn't be mad if EB went there. I'm gonna tell you two reasons. Number one, the Titans are run heavy on Derrick, but
Yep.
if you go back to even the year after they had played us in the playoffs, they still had Arthur Smith, and what Arthur Smith provided and gave them was to put the quarterback out in space, to let him play more along the perimeter, something that Aaron Rodgers does well. They utilized the tight ends well. AJ was eating, but Corey Davis was also eating on top of Derrick being Derrick. You know what I'm saying? So if EB went there, EB's gonna run a similar style with the Titans. They get Aaron, you're talking about an Aaron Rodgers who gets to utilize that play action. And if they can get a true wide receiver, veteran guy in that room with Treylon Burks, this is all she wrote. Aaron's not going to go there without a true number one, without a veteran. He's not going to go. But if they can make a push to get a veteran guy at wide receiver,
if I'm the Titans,
it makes sense.
If I'm getting Aaron Rodgers, I'm gonna find a way to get D-Hop.
Yeah.
The key word
you got to.
The key word is if. And those are big ifs for me.
But the Packers want to move off of Aaron.
Yeah,
the Packers don't want him back.
Which they should have done last year, which is why I said the contract. Everybody was talking about, oh, he getting his contract, good for him. I said, yeah, good for him if you want to celebrate his previous accolades, because I knew this was going to happen. The kind of quarterback that he is, he does not prep with this team like other quarterbacks do with on the offseason. He does not do that during the offseason. It always catches up, especially when it gets to the postseason, because if a player drops one pass, it's over for them and they give up on them. That makes you question, why did Devontae Adams leave and everything? It's more than just about getting paid. I get that, and taking off some of that pressure. But then you have players like MVS. That's why, I mean, to go play with somebody with Patrick Mahomes where he can get his shot, it does. The numbers that he had last night does not happen up in Green Bay. It does not happen.
Well, let's be honest though. MVS was dropping a lot of shit.
We all said Brady, John.
MVS was dropping a lot of shit up in Lambeau. He was dropping wide open shit.
He was.
I'm not saying that it's fair that Aaron lost that confidence, but fuck, MVS was dropping a lot of shit.
But what I will say about Rodgers that used to piss me off was there would be dudes wide open. Allen Lazard,
and he wouldn't get it to him.
And he would zero in on Devontae Adams.
Adams a bust.
He was triple covered and dude wide open right here. You can get him right here. That's what made me mad when they played against Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game.
I think it was a tight end too.
It was dudes wide open, man. They could have won that game, man, in that second half.
He disappears.
Even when the lane was open, he could have ran for that touchdown right there, and he refused. He wanted to throw that little, sidearm that he likes to throw. And I get it. When you got that arm talent like Aaron Rodgers, I get it. You think you can make every throw. You know what I'm saying? Brett Favre had that problem. Dan Marino had that problem. John Elway had that problem. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you got to play some. You like what? Your 14th, 15th year. You got to make better decisions, bro. Like you.
Because I think he fell into that Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like last year, Pat was so Travis and Reed dependent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you go back to, and that's why I don't like the Chiefs trying to grab a true number one, because I think it puts Pat in regression. But the Super Bowl run that the Packers had, it was Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, Jermichael Finley was still playing back then. You know what I'm saying? James Starks at running back, Ryan Grant. You know what I'm saying? Like they
That
had a
defense
nice little
was
squad.
stacked, too.
Yeah. Charles Woodson was on that squad, and
Clay Matthews, AJ
Williams.
Hawk.
Yes. What's his name? Tremont Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 38. Yeah, dogs, bro. Like,
Mhm.
if Aaron decides to come back, he's gonna have to make a commitment to an off-season program.
Exactly.
He has
He's gonna have to make that commitment.
He's gonna have to.
You can't be doing no ayahuasca.
Well, he can. He can. You know what I'm saying? But he's still gonna have to go to some OTAs and mini camps too.
Yep.
Yeah, like because this team probably would have been so much better had he had did what something similar to what Patrick had did.
Yeah.
You know, hey, man, you guys come down here to California. Let's get this thing right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to go on the same page.
But even so, though, it wasn't just last year. I mean, you can even look at the years prior to when they came out the gate, they would usually always get blown out because they looked like a flat team that was not prepared. And then the second week, and then all of a sudden, they showed up. The Packers are back. You didn't know what you're going to get. And then they finally got hot.
At week 1 against the Saints, was it last year or the year before, when they had to play in Jacksonville because New Orleans had the hurricane?
It was last year.
Yeah.
And Jameis Winston threw like 15 or 20 passes and blew them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they blew the fucking doors off the Packers. And then the Packers slowly got it rolling.
Yeah, because then the next week would be against the Bears or something like that, and then they would just
figure it out.
Exactly.
Look, I'm not a fan of some of the antics of Aaron Rodgers. I think he should do better. As far if you're supposed to be the leader of a football team, you got to do better, especially when you got young guys coming in now. You got a Christian
Young
Watson,
receivers.
you got Romeo Doubs. Like, these guys are young guys. No, they're not going to be in the spot that you want them to be. You got to coach them there. You got to get them there. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Patrick, I respect what he did. He was like, all right, I'm losing Tyreek. I'm getting a whole new receiving corps. Y'all come to Texas, man.
And they all went down to Texas.
We're going to get this thing right. So by the time OTAs come, we rolling, man. Mini camps come. We rolling.
Training camp.
I know how Juju likes the ball thrown to him. I know how envious I can get the ball to him.
They had to.
You know what I'm saying?
They had to because of that schedule. They were coming right out the gate. When you had the Bills early and all that stuff. Usually, like those games, kind of like in the latter part, the only game that I probably say was a key game in the latter half of the season was the Cincinnati Bengals game. That was the only one, realistically. Other than that, down the stretch, you had your divisional games, and you had a lot of games what we call tune-up games. But they did everything that they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Them first 8 was not fun.
The thing about Rodgers, if he goes to New York, that will be the end for Rodgers.
Well, not exactly.
That will be
Not
the
exactly.
end. He ain't gonna make it in New York.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that right now.
Not exactly.
I think he would.
Not exactly.
I think he would. I think Aaron Rodgers is savvy enough and laid back enough that he ain't gonna let that media stuff get to him.
And the biggest part about the Jets, like the Jets was a quarterback away from making the postseason.
No, I'm not saying the roster.
They were
the city, the media, everything like that. It's gonna be hard.
They were, but I think honestly, for the locker room sake, they need to stay young. They need to stay younger. They don't need to get older, because all they're gonna be doing
at the quarterback position.
Yeah, you need to stay younger.
But you can't stay with Zach Wilson. You
can't. No, you can't. You got to find somebody else. You got to find somebody else. It cannot, absolutely not. I wouldn't put Wilson even back at BYU. Who cares? But realistically, they got to stay younger though, and for the locker room's sake. Stay younger, build with it.
Then go get Derek Carr for the Jets.
That I would be okay
Jimmy
with.
Garoppolo.
That makes sense. I would be okay with that. I mean, wherever Carr goes, whether it be Tampa or I think that would work.
The only thing that scares me about Derek Carr going to New York is I'm gonna tell you right now, all that crying shit, that ain't gonna fly.
No, that ain't gonna fly there. I'll tell you that ain't.
That shit ain't gonna fly. Dude.
They'll laugh you right off the stage.
Right? What?
Yep. I will agree with that.
Anyway, a whole front page article. This dude was crying.
New York Post, New York Times. It's gonna
actually like. Whereas in Jimmy G, I give Jimmy G this. He's always cool, calm, collect. You never see Jimmy G looking like, man, this is bullshit, man. Like he always cool. I think he would be cool in New York.
It was getting blown out. It was getting blown out, and he still had a smile on his face. And somebody put him a meme. The words that what would he be saying in this moment? You said, man. It said,
Gotcha, bitch.
It said,
Shit
dang,
wouldn't
we
happen
lost.
to me though.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang, we lost. No, y'all lost.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real. I mean, how much more disrespectful can a head coach be to a quarterback? When you think about it, like when he first got Jimmy and that team was healthy, they went to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? That following year, like that entire Niners squad was decimated with injuries. I mean, wasn't nobody from that Super Bowl run healthy that following year. I'm talking about Bosa, Armstead, Debo, the running backs. Like Tevin Coleman had blew out a knee. Like nobody was healthy that following year. Kittle was out for the year. You know what I'm saying? Like completely gutted.
Yeah.
Then they turn around and they stay healthy. And Jimmy is in that lineup, and they rattle off, what was it at that time? I think it was like 5 or 6 straight, maybe 8 straight. You know what I'm saying? Leading up until the injury.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, for Kyle not to trust Jimmy and not to at least let him suit up yesterday, because I think he didn't want to have that. If Brock Purdy gets hurt and Jimmy comes in and he gets us over the hump and we beat Philly, then I'm going to have to deal with Jimmy, Brock, and Trey in the offseason. You know what I mean? Like, he is so far done with Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me – I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? You talk about training camp where Jimmy couldn't even practice with the team. Like, Jimmy had to go off by himself and rehab and throw by himself. And this is in the middle of training camp when they didn't know what they had in Trey. They damn sure didn't know what they had in Brock. You know what I'm saying? And you got Jimmy over here off to his side. Yeah, you're still on this team, but we're going to try to trade you. So you go over there and work out and do whatever you need to do. We're not concerned with you. We're going to get you out of here. You're done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and honestly, I'm pretty sure Jimmy G, his agent probably told him, "Nah, you ain't healthy. You ain't playing. You ain't playing.
Mm-hmm.
We wait for the off season."
And for no team to be interested last year was just like, I couldn't understand that. But
I think it had to do with the surgery.
Yeah, part of it could have been. But now everybody is like, we got to have Jimmy. The Jets damn show are foaming at the mouth to get a Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Hell, the Titans are foaming at the mouth to get a Jimmy. You know what I mean? The Raiders, you know what I'm saying? There is a far list, and this quarterback market looks a lot better. The dominoes are Tom and Aaron, sure. But after Tom and Aaron, you still got a Derek Carr that's there. You know, and Derek Carr can play some good football.
He can. He just,
you know what I mean?
I don't think he's been the same since his injury, but he's
absolutely.
Still good. I think
he can still play some good ball.
He's still good.
You
just gotta get him good offensive line.
Yep. Get him a good offensive line and a running game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And don't try to put 30 passes on his shoulders.
Yeah.
No, can't do that.
He's one of those. He's like Dak.
Yeah.
You can't expect them to win you ball games like that. It has to be a team effort with guys like Dak and Derek Carr.
Yeah,
but we don't know. Yeah. Should Tom end up in San Fran like I hope? There's a market there for Trey Lance. You know what I'm saying? So if Tom goes to San Francisco, you know, the Jets should definitely be in the market for Trey.
Look out for the Titans.
Situation. And look out for the Titans too. Absolutely.
They just hired the GM. The GM was
from San Fran. Yeah.
And you saw that tweet that Trent put out. He put the cross fingers like, "Come get me, bro. Come get me."
Because I'm pretty sure Trey probably don't want to come back to San Fran anyway. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Here you got Brock Purdy, and you heard what Fred Warner said yesterday. Well, it's not on Brock. He got us here. You know, that team is rallying around Brock and that injury. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take them grabbing Tom to make this better in San Francisco. It has to be Tom. It has to be Tom. Yeah, Carter, Carolina. That running game.
Yeah.
That make a lot of sense.
Look, Carolina is most certainly in the hunt now. I think they got the right. They got the coach right. They really need the most offense. They really need the most help on the offensive side of the ball, which is the kind of coach that Reich is. And that defense was actually doing well.
They got some guys over on that.
They were competing, you know, especially when they had Burns over there. He was doing his thing.
What hurt them was losing J.C. Horn.
Yep.
He got hurt. That hurt them.
And we still don't know about the Saints and Jameis Winston either. We still don't know about Jameis. He lost his job to Andy Dalton due to injury. You know what I mean? And to be fair,
that's what happened when you got. That's what happened when you got a defensive minded. That's why you got a defensive minded coach trying to run a team. That's like they picked the wrong coach. They try to go up the ladder.
Making bad plays. Jameis was actually playing solid football. A game manager at that position. He wasn't turning the football over.
Jameis is like a Derek Carr. You got to scale back his passes because he can't. You let him pass too much, he gonna give him away. So you can't make him throw the football too much. You gotta have him
30 for 30.
And here's what I don't understand. So Dennis Allen is a defensive minded head coach. Why didn't you leave that offensive side of the football the fuck alone and let Pete Carmichael handle that? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have your hands on everything. You can delegate shit. Dennis Allen didn't have to touch that offense. You know what I'm saying? And Andy Dalton is not a number one QB in this league. He hasn't been one since the first couple of years he had AJ Green and Cincy, bro.
Yeah. That's why I ain't mad.
That's how I understand that shit.
Granted, for Michael Thomas, you know him being old as he is,
he gone.
That's why I'm not surprised. I wouldn't play either.
No,
I mean, you did get to see the potential of Olave, though. You did get to see that.
Yeah.
Which you look, Brock Purdy had a good season, but it is disrespectful for not having Chris Olave as a rookie of the year candidate. I'm sorry. Brock Purdy.
You can't put Brock. Yeah, you don't put Brock Purdy ahead of him, man. That is disrespectful as shit.
No, come on, man.
But you know what? But you know, it's a testament to how these people actually look at all, you know, who they want to give awards to, and even so how they do these all pros and first team and second teams, and you know, we've seen it. We've seen Bolton get disrespected.
Yeah,
I mean, he's doing second in tackles, and they're not even giving no sense. Oh well, the Chiefs defense is not normally good and everything. Y'all, if you still speaking that language, you ain't paying attention to what they've been doing lately. You're not paying attention, but that's just what they do. They gravitate to what they know. Oh, we're looking at the Bills. Oh, we're looking at the Niners. I mean, and the Niners rightfully deserve that respect because that defense is top notch. Philly, same thing with them.
Nick Bolton should have been second team All Pro
at least.
Absolutely.
He should have been second.
Absolutely.
Team All Pro. Like and Trey Smith, if Trey Smith probably should have been second team All Pro goal. Like, come on now, let's stop that.
Yeah.
Trey is one of the best maulers in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, they finally gave Creed his respect too. Just we know with giving the Pro Bowl now, he's not playing in it, but like we don't care about the Pro Bowl for so many levels anyway. But they just now giving him his respect. I'm like, he earned his respect last year as a rookie.
Yeah, he was one of the best last year. The only person you could possibly put him over is Jason Kelce. That's because he's sad.
So I do got another question for y'all because I've been thinking about this since last night. So this offseason, it's going to be a huge question mark, and that's with Snead. Snead wants a contract, and you got Jalen Watson, and you got Josh Williams.
I'll pay him. I would pay Snead.
What you gonna pay him as?
Isn't Thornhill due for a contract too?
Yeah, but we ain't studying Thornhill. Like Thornhill, he better not come in wanting top 5 money. If he want top 5 money, you go ahead and tell him to get the hell on gone.
Did he ask for top 5?
I don't think so.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. If he outprices himself, then he can go to the Raiders. He can go to the Raiders with that mess.
Yeah.
But Snead's gonna want.
I would give Snead.
You could probably get. I mean, he probably makes a good case for top 5 money.
3 for 45, possibly. I think you can
get
Snead.
That's a good deal for him.
I get Snead 3.
And I don't see Snead being the kind of guy that's like, you got to pay me as one of the tops. No. You know what I'm saying? I think he's okay staying top 5, maybe top 7 at his
Yeah.
position.
So
Because let's be real, Snead is not like he's a great corner, I
Yeah.
think, but he's
Yeah.
not. You don't think of Snead because he's so much of a jack of all trades.
Mhm.
Like he's not great at one thing. He's good at a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he can. If you want him to lock down your number one corner, he can do that. But you also he's good in the slot. He can blitz. He's probably the best blitzing corner. You know, him and Mike Hilton are like probably right there as the best blitzing corners in the league in the slot. So I think he would take 3 for 45, maybe 3 for 50, something in that range.
And I think one of the biggest things we started to see was Trent being primarily in that slot.
yeah,
So Snead can be out
he only
there on the perimeter to prove that he's one of the top DBs in the league.
they definitely had one miscue, and that was on a slip and fall. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I saw.
Yeah, he
But-
slipped and fell like twice on T. Higgins, like out the gate. Like that field just made him slip because he was right there with T. It was just that he slipped, and it was like, damn, man, that's when they hit T. Higgins wide open. And then I think he had a miscue on that hurt because I think he was supposed to be in the flats.
Yeah, it
Hayden
was.
Hurst.
The outside was supposed to cover him.
Yeah, for Hayden Hurst. Yeah, he read it wrong. He's supposed to be on the outside. But other than that, he played really good. He played really good.
So I mean, it just depends on the priority. I mean, the priority is probably going to be Jones first. They gotta take care of him foremost.
Absolutely.
And then Snead, and then you're probably, in my opinion, talking about a left tackle because Brown.
I think the Titans snatch up Orlando. I think they do.
You're going to have to start over there at left tackle. That's just what I think.
Yeah.
Or address Wiley, one of the two.
Well, I mean, but we still got Niang.
And that's what I was saying. And that was one of my scenarios last year was like, or this next year was, do you go ahead, franchise tag Orlando Brown, get something for him, a pick? I think you could get a late first round pick for Brown because left tackles are at a premium, bro. Like people are gonna pay for Brown, regardless of what we think of Brown. In that system, you know what I'm saying? A run first heavy system. He's gonna command top pick money. If I'm Brett Veach, I'm trying to squeeze a first round pick out of him. You want him that bad? Yeah, give me a first round pick.
and that would be a huge upgrade for the Titans at left.
Yeah, and then
I think Niang at left. Yeah, and you draft you a solid
right tackle,
swing tackle. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that can slowly grow into that left. Because if you need it.
Yeah, because Niang is a more athletic. He's better with the speed rush. His problem was just injury. Yeah, his problem was just injury purpose. But he's an athlete. That's what he was coming out of college. He just dropped to the third round because he had a hip surgery. That was
who was that? Who was that rookie that they drafted last year? Was it the kid? Kennard. And see, we still don't know about him. He could be a great swing tackle. So if you drafted a right, you know what I'm saying, and you decide, okay, Wiley's not coming back. We get this kid up to speed, and he can be our swing. You know what I'm saying? To be able to fill in if, God forbid, but Niang gets an injury next year, and it takes him out for 3 or 4 games. You know what I'm saying? Or you kick over the guy that you drafted right and put Kennard at that right tackle. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different variables, but I agree. Orlando don't need to come back.
No, like he's not for that kind of money.
He's consistently the issue when we see bad play by that offensive line. He's the issue.
Him and Wiley.
Because they're supposed to be a unit up front, and you can see because of them getting beat wide due to speed, then you start to see Tooney reaching over to help, and that opens something up on the backside of Creed, and Creed has to try to pay attention, and Trey, like you can see it's the tackles that are the problem along this offensive line.
Yeah, that's what scares me about the Super Bowl.
yeah. But you know what? I know I told you I'm not giving you a score prediction. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. This game was a dogfight.
Yeah.
I think in the Super Bowl, Patrick plays like Roman Reigns would say, God mode.
Yeah, of course.
I think Patrick probably plays the best game he's ever played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, of course.
I see that happening just based off of the physicality and the stakes of this last game. It shows it like it's always been proven. I don't know what it is, but when you get a team and a quarterback that struggles to win a football game in a title game, they come out in the Super Bowl and they play like they are totally different quarterbacks. That
And
play is totally different.
And I expect him to be a lot more healthier in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think his ankle will be a lot, because I think all week that's going to be the process of every day getting that
shit
ankle
probably
right.
started last night. Yeah.
All week they just going to be messing with making that ankle right for the Super Bowl. So, and then even the week of the Super Bowl, he gonna do media week, and then he gonna get right back on that ankle. They do the little practices or whatever. Same thing with Travis. He gonna get his back right. I don't know the severity of Juju's injury. Hopefully, it's not too bad, because they said he couldn't walk up the stairs. So hopefully,
oh really?
Yeah, they said he couldn't walk up the stairs. Yeah, so I hope it, and hopefully Kadarius Toney's ankle is not as bad. So. Miko, he took a shot.
Yeah, I think Cole's done for the rest of the year.
I think so too.
Yeah, he took a shot.
Trade for Tunsil, franchise tag Brown, move around the rate.
He ain't moving the right.
You know, franchise tag him.
He ain't moving the right tag.
I like that scenario though.
The scenario would be beautiful.
I would be happy with that scenario. Tunsil at left and Orlando at right. Oh fuck yeah, sign me up.
Unless you can convince him, hey man, we'll pay you top 5 right tackle money.
Top 5 right tackle money.
You know, the first thing I said, you know, we talking about we knew that you're gonna be playing the Eagles. I said this is gonna be the game that puts that. It's like as far as I see exactly how that investment pays off on the big stage, because that was the biggest thing when they played they played the Bucks. They were dismantled. They had no old line. It was all beat up. This year, the issue might be the receiving core. How are they going to be able to? It's going to be the thing they're going to be looking at. I think that's going to be the thing that's probably going to be under the radar the most.
Well, but the beauty of it is Darius Slay can't be everywhere on that field.
No,
that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. And they linebackers are not athletic enough to handle Travis consistently.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a Noah Gray that's capable, and you got a Jody Fortson that was up for the first time in a minute yesterday. Like, I don't see Philly secondary being able to match up. I don't.
Yeah, especially at MVS.
I think they toughest task. Yeah, I think they toughest task was last night.
Yeah,
I don't know how they get this done, but I see them winning against Philly.
That screen game is gonna have to be intact. You know, McKinnon. McKinnon hasn't really been. He's been more, effective as far as pass blocking. But they got to get more. They got to get McKinnon revved back up. I don't know, like I said, these last 2 games he hasn't done anything as far as the passing game goes. But they got to use McKinnon, and that was my problem last night. I was like, why don't y'all use McKinnon? Help Mahomes out and get these short passings out to McKinnon. That's what he's good at in the screen game. So why not use? And that's what we're gonna have to do with this pass rush. Not slow that pass rush down by screens, runs. Pacheco, he's going to have to be successful on first and second down when they running the football, because the Eagles can be had in the run game. They really can. You saw it with Christian McCaffrey yesterday. It was just that once Brock Purdy got hurt, they knew he was running, so they just stacked 8 in the box, and they was over. You know what I'm saying? There was no pressure. But now you got to worry about Travis Kelce, potentially a Kadarius Toney, and the MVS. You can't just stack 8 in the box. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be light boxes. I expect the Eagles to do what most teams do: rush 4, drop 7 or 8 in coverage, and you know what I'm saying. Make Pat be patient, and if he can do, he's shown that he can do that. So that's going to be the key. The trenches are going to be the key to the game. Again. And Hurts didn't look like he's still healthy.
No,
he does not look like he's healthy.
I think that was part the health, but I think it's part mental too. Like, that's a huge question mark, because he this was the biggest stage he had played on since college. You know what I'm saying? And now he's going into a Super Bowl.
even so, he really hasn't had to play the complete game realistically in
No.
about 4 or 5 weeks because let's see, when they played the Giants, is what maybe basically half a game he had to play, and then this past game, really, you can arguably say half a game because it was basically already decided, dang near midway through the third, they started pulling them and stuff like that, and then you count the other 2 weeks plus the bye week, so it's really about 4. I mean, he didn't even look right the last week of the regular season. So
yeah, our linebackers are going to be crucial against Jalen Hurts because his legs can kill us. Well, that's
Spy.
one thing. Yeah, Willie Gay. Willie Gay going to be that spy.
But he had wide open shots to AJ that he missed yesterday.
He did,
and that's
why AJ been ranting the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he been ranting about that.
That's telling. So, if the NFC title game was a big stage, imagine what he's gonna do in a Super Bowl. That's the biggest stage. You know what I mean? Like, that's a huge question mark. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens.
We should have Snead back up for this game.
Yeah,
so
I think it's gonna be a master class for Pat though.
You got to put Snead on AJ Brown for sure. You got to put him on AJ Brown, man. I'm cool with Trent covering Devontae Smith.
Devontae, yeah,
I can see that. You know what I'm saying? And then whoever else they got,
Dallas Goedert, Quiz Watkins.
That one dude in the backfield, number 14.
Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell.
That dude, he's a playmaker. You gotta watch out for that dude. He's fast. So.
He remind me of DeAnthony Thomas.
Yeah,
what DeAnthony Thomas was. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a smaller guy.
Oregon DeAnthony.
Oregon.
Because that's the one I like more than
for real.
Because when he came to the Chiefs, he was nothing like he was in Oregon. In Oregon, he was a touchdown machine.
Shit, he was a problem.
That's good. That speed in the NFL ain't like in Oregon. In Oregon, you only have maybe two key games, and usually it was with Stanford.
Right, USC probably.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, before we get up out of here, fellas, who's y'all game MVPs?
Offense.
Go ahead.
Offense MVS. Defense. Oof, so many. You gotta go Jones. You ain't got a choice. You ain't got a choice. I mean, Jones rose to the occasion. He did what he's supposed to do. We said the D line they gotta apply the pressure to be able to help this secondary. He got that nasty goose egg off of there. That was the big talk. 13 playoff games, no sacks. He left with 2 last night, including pretty much you could say the game ending. It's not even a question. I mean, as a whole, the defense you can throw out, the rookies and all that stuff, but Chris Jones, that was Chris Jones' game to be had. Point blank. Period. And then offensive side with MVS, when all the other receivers were falling down like dominoes, he's the one that stepped up and had the game of his career, and it's not even close. Talk about Green Bay, talk about Kansas City, point blank, it was the game of his career.
Yeah. I must say, offensively, I got to give it to Pat. I have to. Simply, most weeks you can find a reason why to choose somebody else. But for me personally, I felt like it was huge and it meant more yesterday, given the comparisons, given the fact that all season he's been under this level of scrutiny, being an underdog, them claiming it Arrowhead, the media, everybody picking the Bengals by 7 to 10 points or more. Them saying that Burrow was going to play and have a better game. And here you had Patrick coming in with a bad ankle, losing those guys, being able to make the right moves and activating the MVS the way he did and giving him that confidence. You got to give it to Pat. AFC title game, leaving no doubt, scrambling for that first down. You know what I'm saying? Like everything. And it was one of the ugliest football games ever. But for Pat to be able to pull that out yesterday, dog, like I give it to him. And defensively, I really want to say the front end and the back end. You know, highlighting Chris Jones, but also giving that love to Frank, Big George, Dana, Carlos Dunlap. You know, that secondary, you got to give it up to them rookies. All three of them, man. You know what I'm saying? Joshua Williams, you know, Jalen Watson, Trent McDuffie, like them losing their guy that runs their room, that the cornerback room. You know what I mean? Not to have him on the field, and for those kids to be able to step up and hold two perennial wideouts to 75 yards apiece. You know what I'm saying? Not losing that confidence when Jalen Watson and Juan was in on that touchdown to T. Higgins, number one. Number two, giving up that big play to Jamar and still never losing that confidence. Never getting down on themselves, never letting it to settle in and it end up growing into something bigger. You know what I mean? Because it could have gotten to their heads to the point where we don't see that interception on that Cook tip. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have gotten their head a lot. But for them to keep that confidence about them in that moment and to lock them two dudes down, yeah, that the front end and the back end was it for me on defense, dog.
Yeah, I agree. Offensively, I'm a roll with Pat too. My honorable mention is MVS, but I'm a roll with Pat.
Yeah.
I'm a roll with Pat because for what he did on that ankle and to still just right. Yeah, I mean, he was out there just willing and dealing, man, and he was you know inside that pocket, man, just navigating, man. Just to think, if he didn't have that ankle injury, it would have been a lot worse for the Bengals, man. Like they dodged, and it still was almost worse with him on the bum ankle. If Kadarius Toney don't drop a touchdown in the Isaiah Pacheco situation, we talking about 21-6 at the half, bro, and it could have got stupid ugly. So, and he was on a bad angle. So, and then on defense, I gotta give like you said, Clarence, you got to give a shout out to them rookies and the rest of the defensive line. But for Chris Jones, I was happy for Chris Jones because all the talk the Chiefs Kingdom has about him, I've seen it in spaces, I've seen it just on everywhere. People talking about Chris Jones not getting sacks in the playoffs, like he's not effective, and it's like no, like sacks are just like interceptions, man. Like they're not the tall tale. You know what I'm saying? Of how a defensive end or defensive tackle plays in this league. But for him to go out there and take over and be the closer that he's been all season. This is what he's been doing all season. He's been closing out games for us. If you want to say the Colts game, he really closed that one out. It was just that stupid pill.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
He closed that game out. We would have won that because of him. And there was various other games that he closed out for us, for patting him to get the ball back and win the game. So this was the cherry on top. To do it in the AFC Championship game against a team that's been running their mouth all year.
Far too much this year. Yep.
And he finally shut them up. So, and once he got that sack, I knew we were going to win the game. I knew it was over. I said, "Oh, it's over. We about to march down here and kick this field goal because the momentum is on our side." So, I got to give it to Chris Jones, man. Kudos to him, man, and he deserves to get paid. Brett Veach, you better give that man whatever. Just show up with the blank check and say what you want. What you want? What you want, man?
I want to throw something out to y'all.
And that was really contributors like how sick and tired is this Chiefs team, and it happened. They were sick and tired enough, and they just let loose.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I want to throw something out to y'all. I'm gonna throw out some names. Steve DeBerg, Brody Croyle, Brady Quinn.
No, God.
What's his name? Tyler Thigpen.
Yep.
Damian here.
Damon Hewitt, Matt
Matt
Castle, Trent Green, Alex Smith. Did I say Alex already? Alex Smith.
Trent Green, the one that Coach Vermeil cried over when he got hurt.
Yeah. The same. Yeah, that's him. Elvis Gerback, Rich Gannon.
Hey, I like Rich Gannon.
Till he became a Raider.
Yeah. What do all those guys have in common?
They're losers.
Yep. Yeah, basically. No, I brought that up for a reason. Because I wish, I can't say I want, I could say I wish that Chiefs fans would open their eyes and really, really, really appreciate what they have.
Yeah, man.
This dude is a once in a lifetime kind of kid.
Yeah,
and it's going to be hard to replace this when it's gone. It's going to be a while.
I don't think about it.
But it's going to be hard to replace when it's gone. 6 years. 6 years in. 3 Super Bowl appearances. 6 years in. 2 league MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
6 years in. 5 consecutive AFC Championship games.
Breaking records left and right.
The first 6 years of his career. And most quarterbacks yesterday, it's a question mark on if they would have finished that game. Yeah. It's a question mark on if they would have even played that game.
Yeah, they wouldn't even have played. Josh Allen would have played that game.
Yeah, you listen to what Tony Romo was saying about a high ankle sprain and how he was out for 4 weeks or whatever, and it was the hardest thing for him to overcome, and blah, 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 blah. And nobody doubted whether or not Patrick was playing this game. Nobody doubted it. And you talk about the adrenaline of playing in that game. But fast forward to a Tuesday afternoon when there is no game, and you still got to be a daddy. You still got to be a husband. You know what I'm saying? You still got to be present at home on top of get this rehab in, pray that the rehab works, pray that it sticks, and I can keep trending upward. On top of I got to get this game plan ready. Mm-hmm. On top of I have to be a leader in the locker room to show everybody we all right. Y'all don't have nothing to worry about. We're going to kick their ass on Sunday, and I'm going to be there. Because there's no way you can tell me, he didn't think about and he wasn't present in the moment of how he left the podium after that first interview during the week. He was present. You know what I'm saying? He knew what was going on. There's no way he wasn't present when he knew that NFL Network got to film the first warm-up portion of their practice on that Wednesday. He was present. And there's no telling what he was feeling on the inside in regards to this pain. And then he comes out yesterday and he throws for more yards. Aside from a fumble, he didn't throw any picks. You know what I mean? And now he's going to Arizona. Like, Chiefs fans, Chiefs Kingdom, they really need to be present in this moment and have a little bit of humility and appreciate what they got. Because Tom didn't even do this. You know what I mean? Like, these don't come every day. Guys like this, you don't get every day. You don't. You just don't. You don't.
We all know, we should all, as Chiefs, if you're a real, Chiefs fan who's been through the gauntlet of the quarterbacks that Clarence was reading off, that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had retread after retread after retread. Ever since Ty Blackledge, and mind you, in that draft, we could have had Dan Marino, by the way.
Yep.
We could have had Dan Marino right away.
Yep.
But ever since they drafted Ty Blackledge and he busted out, they were scared to draft a quarterback for years. They did. They
A
went.
lot of years.
They were all offseason. They would call San Francisco and like, "You done with your quarterback?
Yep.
Let us
Yep.
have it."
Let's get Bono. Let's get Gurr back.
Steve
You know
Bono.
what I'm saying? Steve Bono, man. Steve Bono.
Right. So yeah.
How many years did we say we wish we had a quarterback? I mean, even way back before social media, like that was an article in the Kansas City Star about how they couldn't get, or how the Chiefs needed a franchise guy at that position. And now you got it, man. You got the best.
Yeah.
You got the best.
And never in a million years could you have told me.
You see what I'm saying?
That we was going to get the best quarterback. Eventually you probably get a good quarterback, but
right.
The
best
quarterback?
dog. Yes, bro. Yes.
The guy? The face of the league? What?
Yes. Yeah. See what I'm saying? That shit didn't come to. That shit never went to Kansas City. It would always be somewhere else. Hell, even somewhere maybe within the division when Peyton was here. You know what I mean? And he set that record in Denver. What was it, that first year he was in Denver? Like, we never got those. We always missed out on those.
Yeah. Nobody
always missed out on them.
Nobody wanted to come to KC. Nope.
No. And now we got them. Like,
now you got guys like Carlos Dunlap is like, I want to come to this team because I know I'm going to go to the Super Bowl. I
don't think he even had a playoff win prior to this him joining the team.
He hadn't. That's why he said he wanted to come, because he knew he was going to go to the playoffs and he had a chance at the Super Bowl. And now look at him. He's going to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I'm always in the mindset, and I always tell Chiefs Kingdom, man, appreciate what you got, man, because not every organization has this.
Yeah.
We have the best in the league.
Yeah.
There's organizations that don't even have a quality quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If say what we want to say about the Bengals, they're in a good position. They got Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say what we want about the Buffalo Bills. They got a quarterback out there. They got a guy out there that they can build around and make something happen. The Ravens, if they pay Lamar Jackson and get some weapons around that dude, they got somebody.
They got him. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be where the Raiders and the Broncos, even the Chargers, with Justin Herbert. You know what I'm saying? They got Justin Herbert out there. You know what I'm saying? He is a talent. You continue to build around him and get the right. It's just coaching with them. They get the right coach with that kid. Possibly they could be a threat in, you know what I'm saying, the AFC West. I don't want that. But, you know what I'm saying? We talking football right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, those, there are some guys, there are some teams that got guys, you know what I'm saying, that can get them over the hump. You know what I'm saying? We just so happen to have the equalizer. They try to every year they try to stack somebody against it. And he just knocks them down. Knocks them down. The latest one was Joe Burrow. They wanted him to have that crown. They were itching for him to have that crown. They wanted the Bengals to win so bad that they crying about the game was rigged. Because I guarantee you, if the stats were the other way around, and the same thing and the same type of plays happened to the Chiefs, nobody would be talking about no rig. They'd be talking about Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the league. And Mahomes is second best. And yada yada yada.
But even so, that's every year. It was like we even with the whole playoff the whole playoff rule, how that changed.
Well, I mean, they have no other choice now but to put him in the same conversations as Tom Brady when they're talking about who's the best at their position in the National Football League.
Hell, Tom knows. That's why Tom got a relationship with him. That's why Tom talks to him. They have a Kobe, Michael Jordan type relationship.
Yep, absolutely.
Where they talk. That's like that little brother. Like I'm talking to you, hey man, do this, do that.
But you know what's funny about it though? It didn't hit me till just now. This dude Mahomes by himself has the same number of Super Bowl appearances as Favre and Rodgers. How in the world is it that the Green Bay has two Hall of Fame quarterbacks with three collectively But then there's one dude
Yeah.
has
Now,
accomplished only in 6 seasons.
I will
Well,
say
really
this about
5.
Aaron Rodgers. I will say this about Aaron Rodgers. Now, the last 3 seasons, I put that all on him. He choked up in the NFC Championship in the playoffs, and then I put it on him. But prior to that, the Green Bay Packers used to penny pitch like a mug. They used to be like, "Oh, we got Aaron Rodgers. We can win with him." They would not get him nothing on defense. Like his
Nothing
defense,
in the running back position.
That too. He would never have. He didn't have a running game either
Yeah.
to save his life. It was always just throw.
Yep.
So yeah.
Mike McCarthy didn't believe in running the football when he had Aaron.
Yeah. So yeah, I pitch him some bell on that. Now the last few seasons, that's all on Aaron.
Aaron.
It's all Aaron. I get it because
him.
He's been the number 1 seed, been in prime position. He's supposed to be the favorite, and he chokes. He choked. So, yeah, I like you guys said, man. We're in prime position with the best quarterback and a dude that's on a whole nother trajectory. He's in the GOAT conversation right now. Like that's what he's chasing right now. All this best quarterback in the league. We don't need to have that discussion no more. Let's stop talking about that. It's Mahomes up here, and then the Burrows and the Josh Allens and the
Absolutely.
Herberts, they down here somewhere. Let them compete for second best.
Absolutely.
Mahomes is chasing. We're talking about the Breezes and the Brady's and all that stuff. That's where he's at.
He chasing them guys. He chasing Joe Cool.
And rightfully, to be completely honest, he shouldn't even be chasing a Drew Brees. There technically should only be one guy, even in that conversation, and that should be Tom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, Tom is going to be the standard no matter what. Although if it weren't for the Giants, he'd be at 9 realistically.
Right.
And the thing about it is, realistically, he's not. I don't know, but I don't think Pat's going to get 7 Super Bowls. But I will, like I said, I don't know. He might. He might.
He's young enough. I don't think he's going to be playing no 20-some-odd years like Brady is doing, though.
He might. He said he wants to. We'll see.
I mean, unless that gap just continues to expand and they can't catch him. This is year 6.
Yeah, I know.
And in another 6 years, there's no telling how many of these he's been to.
27. He's only 27.
Yeah.
But
he could close the door on in 12 years.
And I don't even think he needs 7 Super Bowls to close that gap because statistically, I think he's going to pass Tom.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Statistically, accolade-wise, he probably would pass Tom too. Because he's going to break all. But by the end of Mahomes' career, he's going to be number 1 in a lot of statistical categories. Probably number 1 in passing yards. If he continues to throw for close to 5,000 yards every damn season, he's going to break that record running away. You know what I'm saying? Touchdown record, all that stuff. So he could probably, and then MVPs, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to win another one, at least another one of these things.
Yeah.
They don't like to give, guys MVPs too much, but I could see him winning another one, you know what I'm saying, after this one.
But when you play when you're at that position and you blessed enough to have a team that can stay relatively healthy.
What's up, Joe?
What's happening, Joe? That his ability plus them being able to stay relatively healthy. I know they don't like to give it to people that much, but you're not going to be able to deny it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what he is. You feel me? Like, it's only up until the last 2 weeks where we've seen adversity. I mean, real adversity due to an ankle injury and Travis back and the wide receivers not being able to stay healthy and shit like that. Like, that up until then, like, Pat was balling out of his mind.
He was.
You know what I'm saying? He came into week 1 on that shit. He had that shit on in week 1. You feel me? Like, when you leave, no doubt, What can they do but crown you? They have no choice but to give it to you.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, they can hate it all they want. You
But
can't lie with them facts, bro.
Yeah, but you know how it is, Clarence, man.
I know.
It's gonna be a season. It's gonna be a season where everybody know that Mahomes is the MVP, but they're gonna give it to Justin Herbert because
or Josh or
whatever.
Burrow. You know what I'm saying?
We got to give him one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
they got to go out their way to build another quarterback's confidence up.
Yeah,
Pat don't need that shit though.
Like, I don't even think he cares anymore. You know what I'm saying? After this MVP, he's gonna be like, whatever, man. I'm chasing rings, man. Yeah, and that's all he's chasing.
I don't think honestly he truly gave a fuck about this MVP this year.
I don't think he did either.
I think it was more about let's get to the Super Bowl, let's win that. Because if we win that, they really can't say shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then coming into the season, man, there was so much doubt. You know what I'm saying? There was so much doubt.
Yep.
Oh, he ain't got Tyreek Hill. Oh, he ain't gonna be the same quarterback. Not knowing dummies. Last year he had to learn to play this way anyway. So it was not gonna be a hard transition for him to, take what the defense give him. He had to learn that last year. He did that with Tyreek Hill on the staff. You know what I'm saying? So and then I think the second half of the Bengals game in the AFC Championship game, he never had a half like that in the playoffs, man. That was that was the worst half of his career. Yeah, and he knows it, and he said, I can never ever put my team in that position ever again, bro.
But it was just like we talked about last year. We always kept saying this was he had to grow through all of that shit last year. You know what I'm saying? And it was great that it happened to him so early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that growth period last year and the defenses and the struggles that they had to go through. And you could tell like that offense was off all year. The offense was just completely off. Like, and I would say maybe 29 other guys or maybe 30 other guys would have killed to have the numbers that he had last year, and to play on the offense like that last year, and they struggled.
I agree, John.
You feel me?
Yeah, man. This team has been through so much adversity, man, that they're battle tested, man. You know what I'm saying? They know what it is, and that's why when everybody was voting again, I was like, "Y'all sure y'all want to do that? Y'all sure y'all want to go against the Chiefs?" Because they like this stuff. They like it when they like when the world is against them. But you picking this guy over here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We gonna show you.
Yeah.
We gonna show you.
And they're not going. I would be shocked if everybody just hands down. They win this. They win. They beat the Eagles, and they go into next year. I'd be shocked if everybody just flat out makes them the favorite to go back. I don't think the national media is going to get that to them after they beat the Eagles this year. I don't
think so either.
They'll still be down them, and they'll still be the underdogs, even with a fucking Super Bowl ring.
Oh, don't worry. When
you know what I'm saying?
When the Raiders or somebody make a move,
man.
Or the Chargers make a move, they're gonna pick the Chargers. Well, I think the Chargers gonna win this division this year. I think this is the year.
The Bengals are gonna knock them off this year for sure. The Bengals are gonna knock them off and get to the Super Bowl.
Let's be honest. If it wasn't for Joe Burrow's offensive line, they would have won again.
Facts. They'll never give them that respect.
If it weren't for Chick-fil-A to be closed on Sundays, the Bengals would have won the football game because he have his favorite chicken sandwich and nobody got it for him on Saturday night. So he wasn't able to eat his pregame meal the way he liked to with a lemonade that was freshly squeezed by a Bengals fan from 1963.
You're gonna be like, he's lucky he didn't have to play Josh. Let's be real, he played Trevor Lawrence. He didn't play Josh Allen and Joe Burrow.
You know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be some punk shit, bro. Always. But the facts are the facts.
Hey man, And shout out, we got 2 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl this year, baby. First
Yes,
time ever.
sir. Yes,
First
sir.
time ever. 2 black
Yes,
quarterbacks
sir.
in the Super Bowl. That is
sir.
beautiful. That is
Yes,
beautiful.
sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It's going down,
Sir.
man. All right, fellas, man. We've been on this thing jamming, man. Super Bowl. I'm hyped. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's been a long season, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I got to
Yes,
figure out.
sir.
I got to figure out what Super Bowl jersey to get this time. 'Cause I got the
Yeah,
Mahomes jersey the first rodeo.
Yeah,
Then I got the Hill jersey the second one. I'm probably gonna go with Kelsey this year.
Yeah, you gotta get Kels, man.
It's either that one or Jones.
McKinnon. Oh
Or
yeah,
Jones.
Yeah, I might get Jones. I might get a Jones this season. Yeah.
Because at least with Jones. I mean, I'm not getting rid of my Hill Super Bowl jersey. Period. You just don't do it.
No,
It's
absolutely not.
It's in the closet. It's in the closet.
Absolutely not.
It's gonna get framed with the rest of the stuff that I got up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you still see, I still got that all the way up there. You know, when they first
Yeah.
go around all the articles. So
Hell yeah.
I got to build all that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I gotta give him. I'll probably give it Jones. I might get Jones. Still around with Jones. We'll see.
9-5.
Yeah, we might have around with Jones.
Mhm.
We'll see. Maybe Snead. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta make some decisions.
Yep.
But yeah, all right, fellas, man. Look, man, everybody who's watching, the train didn't overwhelm or play, brought Pacheco along just right. Let's get in the bowl. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, he did get.
He did.
He did.
It was a good move.
Yeah, it was.
He playing that foot, but it's like we said though, is like trying to plant enough on that field, especially in this time of the year, is hard.
And remember, Nick Bolton was dealing with an ankle injury.
Yeah, he was.
He was dealing with an ankle.
It was. Yeah, it was. Or is. Yeah.
Yeah, he was dealing with an ankle injury. So
Yeah.
but yeah, we're in the Super Bowl, fellas. Like I said, it's been a long season. It's been great. Pod been booming this season, man. And I love it. You know what I'm saying? We got a few more of these pods for this season. Then we take a little break. Then we go into the off season. You know what I'm saying? So, Clarence, next Monday, I got right after the Super Bowl, I got hit up by a Philadelphia podcast.
Oh, really?
They want us to come on the show. So I don't know your schedule.
Okay. But next Monday?
Yeah, I don't know your schedule.
I'm off on Mondays, so we good.
It'll be what, 7:00 your time?
Yeah.
So yeah, 7:00 your time next Monday. They want us to come on and talk about the game. So you know what I'm saying? We could do that,
Yeah.
For sure. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and give a shout out to the sponsor. Every Morning Quarterback. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see the link. emqpodcast.com/locker-room. If you go there, you'll see the locker room access of all the podcasts under the Every Morning Quarterback umbrella, whether it be a Chargers, a Patriots, a Jets, and also our podcast, Arrowhead Chief Podcast. You click on the banner, you'll see all of our episodes, the recent ones and the past ones. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and follow us, you know what I'm saying, get all our episodes. And also follow them. They got their own YouTube channel where they do talk about everything league-wide. They also give you betting tips. Shout out to Anthony, Brandon, Connor, and Zach doing their thing at Every Morning Quarterback. And if you want to listen to the audio, whatever streaming platform that you use, we are on there, whether it be Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Anchor, and Breaker. We're on all of those platforms. Go ahead, subscribe, hit that notification button, and you'll get all our episodes. And if you're on social media, if you want to follow us, you can follow us at AH Chief Podcast. We're on all social media websites, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. You can follow us. We'll follow you back because what's our motto, Clarence?
We're not Hollywood.
Yeah, we're not Hollywood, baby. We just, talk to us nice and normal when you hit us up. We're all open for critiques, feedback. You got questions, you got topics that y'all want us to bring up on the podcast. Within reason, we will talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to bring y'all the best Chief content that we can bring you for this pod. You know what I'm saying? So definitely. Yeah, we Hollywood, Joe, for sure. And we in the Super Bowl, for sure. So Yeah, so follow us. We'll follow you back. And I'd like to thank all of Chiefs Kingdom, all the ones that the regulars who have been rocking with us all season, whether it be Joe, whether it be John, Lynn, Mark, of course, he's been in the comments. Is the Christine? She comes in sometimes and listens to us. Ty, everybody who's rocked with us. Kingdom Cast, give a shout out to the country and Chuck and Boogie and Kylie. All of them have rocked with us since day one, since me and Clarence did this season. Hey man, shout out to y'all for rocking with us, and hopefully y'all continue to rock with us for seasons forward. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, y'all, enjoy y'all week because we in the Super Bowl. Get ready for next week because it's going down. All right,
Let's go. Peace.